one more time for the Limit of Adhesion Endurance Series for this season. Welcome to Sebring at the International Raceway, the layout we all know and love from the Sebring 12-hour race. The season finale for LOA Endurance, and we have more cars than last time. 26 have appeared for this event, which is up from 18 from Indianapolis. What do we have in store here at Sebring? A long track, longer track than the last two races, a little bit above 6 kilometers long. And as a result of that, we expect 30 laps, as the pole time was 2 minutes and 1 second. So 30 laps, even with the pit stop, should be possible. Maybe if shenanigans is starting to happen early on. We are on 29 lap pace, but for now we expect 30 laps, excuse me. And if we take a look at the qualifying results, the top 5, Charles Vasquez was on pole, but the car with number 34, none of those leading cars is car number 34. He is in the pits. Number 2, Marion Hogewain. He's the car to the left, the 89. Then the 24 of Ture Mollerin. So he is now our leading car on the screen, right side, left side for the drivers. In P4, Matthew Hansel, and P5, Lukasz Sipula, who won in Road Atlanta and came really close to another win in Indianapolis. So hopefully we can get Charles Vasquez at least for the start of the race, but he has to attack from behind. It's a famous track here at Sebring, 17 corners, and of course that final corner, Sunrise, this bumpy piece of tarmac. It will be one big challenge for our drivers. As I mentioned, 30 times they have to conquer it. Let's hope they all can survive it. As it being a long track, the rolling lap is a bit longer than on the last two races I commentated, but we are now on the back straight. I think we are almost done. The drivers are ready, their focus is up, their concentration is up, and everyone wants a good final showing for the season here at the Limit of Adhesion finale for the Endurance Series. Like I said, 26 cars. I am so ready for this. The pace car goes through Sunrise now. It looks easy with that pace, but watch out once the race starts. Pace car is gone about now, and we await for the start of the race, which is happening right now. Let's go. Mollerin leading the pack. Marion Hogewain slapped a little bit, instantly lost the position, and look at all those cars. Look at all those cars. Turn 1 for the first time. So far so good. Vasquez is now as well on his way. At the very end we have already contact. We had contact. This is Zachary Liebold. He is rolling. There was another car involved. I think I saw the 42 of Gavin Kelly. That is correct. And I just noticed that we only have 25 cars racing, as John Cook did not start the race. Maybe he returns a bit later. Same story as Blake Tovey last time in Indianapolis. Maybe we have to live with only 25 cars. But Kelly and Liebold already involved in an incident. Bad for Zachary Liebold, who was one of the fastest drivers last time in Indianapolis, and now he has to wait work his way through. We have a spin 63. Matthew Hansel. Chaos already. I see Weisbecker as well turned, so a lot is already happening here. Timon Slutz and Carl Hudson, P10 and 11. Liebold has no rear wing. This is not a good sign because this was about to happen. No rear wing equals goodbye car. And now he has somehow find a way to the pits. He ported to the pits, so not a good start for the Formulama crew. And oh, Chris White, what happened here? Aye. Sunrise took his first victim. Daniel Bond into the... No, not into the pits. That looked strange. Oh my goodness, what are we watching here early on, ladies and gentlemen? I expected a bit of chaos. But that was one intense first lap, ladies and gentlemen. One car not starting, 2 cars in the pits. Many cars already involved in incidents. And now let's see if the race settles in, yes or no. Charles Vasquez in P16 as a result of all of this behind him. Matthew Hansel, their job will be to work their way through the field. And they have 1 hour to do so. Chris White has left the pits. Zach Liebold still in the pits, not looking good for him. But let's see if that number 25 in the top right is going to move, yes or no. I doubt it, but maybe. Luke Slutz, P5, the only BMW in the field. On Charles Vasquez and Steve Pepper side by side, and Vasquez now in P15. Cipolla in P2, Ture Mollerin leading. Sunrise, they take it. Did you see how bumpy the car was shaking up because of the bumps in this corner? You can see the cars dancing or trying to survive. Definitely one difficult corner. Chris Forrester, P12, gained 9 positions in all of that chaos. Few more cars in the pits. Henry Shepard, Carl Hudson. So the madness continues, so to speak. But Sebring is one tough track. Sebring is one tough track. Danny Chan behind Luke Sleuth. Different choice of lines. And look at all... Same picture as the last 2 races I commentated for LOA. Look at the sheer amount of Aston Martins. From 8 to 17, it is all Aston Martins. Ooh, contact there into the rear. And Forrester, watch out, take the car. Okay, no spin, no visit to the wall. Just a positional loss. Just quote unquote, of course. Philip Fox, we have seen him in Road Atlanta. P15, same position as he started. The only driver that... No, Timon Slutz as well. So 2 drivers only that have the same position as they had at the start of the race. John Cook, who did not start, we ignore for that. Ooh, James Pepper, is this a big blink? Oh, this is not looking good. Technical issues. And maybe as a result he has to retire from the race. Ay. You hate to see it. He is now in the pits as well. Zach Liebold still in the pits. Rich Meester is chasing Philip Fox. Meanwhile, Toure Mollerin 201.244. So the 201s as predicted. But I think maybe now we can call it settled in for the moment. Toure Mollerin, Lukas Sipula, Marian Hogewein, Luke Slutz and Danny Chan are the top 5. Danny Chan also the highest silver driver in the field. Then Alex Murphy, Joshua Martinez, Sebastian Boivi, Timon Slutz and Clément Godet, the top 10. Rich Meesters behind Philip Fox. There's already quite a big gap between Hansel and Philip Fox. 6.9 seconds between them. Weisbecker and Steve Pepper. One of the Peppers still in the race at least. I assume it looked weird. First his car disappeared and then he slowed down to the outside. Oh, Peter McIntyre! Oh, loss of control into the barrier after turn 16. Hope the car is not too damaged. But man, this is not a good day for the Formulama crew. Liebold, Cook, McIntyre in the wall. And if I see correctly, the highest is in P19 with Daniel Bond. Not the race they wanted to have. Blinking issues continue. Chris Forrester. But what can we see? We see Henry Shepard in Sunrise and losing control of the car. You were able to see how the rear started to go poof, and now he's poof in the pits. Henry Shepard. Toure Mollerin, 2.2 seconds in front of Lukas Sipula, and who is 3 seconds in front of Marian Hogewein, and then already over 5 seconds to P4. So the top 3 are gone. Not directly fighting, the gaps are too big for that, but they are gone from 4, 5 and the rest of the field. Here at almost the 10-minute mark. Alex Murphy. And Danny Chan, but has to watch out. Joshua Martinez, our race winner from Indianapolis. P7 for him, gained 5 positions so far in this race. One of the big winners. The biggest winner is Rich Meesters early on. Gavin Kelly, Steve Pepper, and Chris Forrester. 16, 17, and 18 through Sunrise. We see different choices of line. Philip Fox lost 2 positions. Losing even more. Oh, he stands after Sunrise. You can see the 19 now standing there. And just about now he's in the pits. One thing I have to say, the minimap in the top right has a slight delay of 1 or 2, I think 2 seconds it is. So don't be too irritated by that. Lap 6. Luke Slutz fastest lap. Oh, Daniel Bond slidey into the wall. And he tries to get away from it. Yeah, it's a tough piece of racetrack. Sebring, that is. 11 minutes gone, and it's, for some drivers it probably feels like an eternity already due to the sheer difficulty of the track. 1, 2, and 3 are getting closer, especially since Turin Mollerin lost the lead. We have not seen it, what happened to him, because so much is happening here all around the field. But when they come over the finish line, the lap time will tell the story. Martinez chasing Chan and Murphy. Mollerin chasing the race leader Sipula. Behind the Marion Hogevain, they go super far to the outside to take as much as possible of the racetrack. And yeah, 2044 tells the entire story. "22 cars remaining. I would not expect Peppa, Liebel and Shepard to return. Maybe they do. But for now, I would expect 22 drivers to be left in this race. Interesting group there from 5 downwards. 5 to 9 pretty close together. 1, 2, 3 now also getting closer. Murphy in his Acura. Behind Danny Chan. And then Joshua Martinez in P7. Again, positions himself differently in order to maybe get a better line, better exit, and thus an overtaking opportunity. Chasing the silver driver, Danny Chan, who so far, good performance. Where is the highest bronze? Rich Meesters, P14, 14, 16, 17, 18, and 21. The remaining bronze rated drivers. For those that don't know, let me explain it real quick. At the start of each season, the drivers are getting ranked on the LOA intern ranking system, and then they get divided into gold, silver, and bronze. For people that join after the start of the season, they get automatically put into gold. So, just a little explanation there as we see a potential lead change. Mollerin back in the lead after losing it a few minutes ago. Mollerin, Sipula, Hogevain. Sebastian Boivy and Joshua Martinez side by side through 3, 4, and 5. Martinez stays in P7. Our top 3 are getting closer and closer to a first overtake in terms of a lapped car. This is Philip Fox. You can see it on the map, just a few seconds until they arrive. Daniel Bond in the pits, P20. Alex Murphy wants to get P5. Will he get it? Let's see. They are still fighting there. We saw it for a bit. But I think Alex Murphy is in a good position to gain P5 now. But the race is still in the early stages. We just passed the first quarter. So a lot of time is left here at Sebring at the LOA Endurance season finale. Sipula again in the chaser role. He was leading for a bit. Now he's back in P2. Takes Sunrise a bit wider than Mollerin. Remember, different cars and all that. This plays a factor as well. Ford, Aston Martin, Ford, BMW, Acura, McLaren, and Audi, the top 7, and that field of Aston Martins from 8 to 17. Matthew Hansel gets past Timon Slutz, who is in the pits. This is an explanation why he got past him. Early pit stop for Slutz, but in theory he should be done if not anything unplanned happens for the rest of the race, which can definitely happen. Sebring is really a difficult track. Definitely more difficult than what we saw last time in Indianapolis at the road layout. So we expect things to happen across the next 42 minutes. And we start to see that Luke Slutz is the one driving completely on his own. P4 3.8 seconds in front, the top 3, and then 9 seconds to P5. Carl Hudson and Timon Slutz, who was in the pits just moments ago. So he dropped down to P17 for the moment. Martinez. No, sorry, this is still Hudson. I was thinking this was Martinez for a moment. Excuse me. Still on this battle. Hudson, Slutz, and McIntyre. Matthew Hansel gets past Sebastian Boivy. He is now in P9, following Martinez and Vasquez. Vasquez, who started from the pits, back in P8, fastest lap for a moment, because Matthew Hansel, the first driver in the 200 area. 200.996, the first sub 201. Vasquez and Martinez, 7 and 8. Gavin Kelly, P13. P2 in the silver rankings. Clément Godet in the pits. We have not talked a lot about him yet, but also one of the earlier pit stops. And if nothing goes wrong, he should be done with it. I mean, the good thing for Clément is, let's see where he will join. He's 18, 19, he's in 18 for the moment, but cold tires. Maybe McIntyre is able to overtake him for the time being. But if Clément gets past Timon Slutz, for example, who was also in the pits already, then there's a bit of a gap. I know there's also another car there. Excuse me, Carl Hudson. I completely overlooked Carl Hudson. I apologize. But yes, some of those drivers were already in the pits. Some will do the pit stop pretty late. So let's see when will go who into the pits. Still 21 cars driving after Daniel Bond being the latest victim. He's still in the pits. I not expect him to return, to be honest. So 21 cars remaining. Slutz chasing Carl Hudson. Would be important. I'll go super wide there. Would be important for him to get through him, because then he is free. Hansel improves the fastest lap. 2:00. Oh, indeed. Charles Vasquez. Not the I meant, but okay. Watch out with the rejoin. Yeah, he is. Yeah, this is as good as a rejoin as you can do while reversing, but lost a lot of time as a result. Chris Forrester in the pits, as well as Peter McIntyre. This helps Clément Godet, who was around Peter McIntyre after his pit stop. Hansel is putting on the pressure. 2:00.790. 1.4 seconds faster than Joshua Martinez, and now he is right behind him. Hansel is on a mission. The top three separated a little bit again after being much closer a few minutes ago. 2 seconds, then 1.6 seconds, but the gap to P4 is still pretty big. 5 seconds. So they are safe for the moment. Joshua Martinez doesn't make it too difficult for Matthew Hansel. Probably knew because of his exit. There is no reason to fight, but... And of course he sees his pace, but maybe if I can latch on, maybe he can pull me further up. There's always this hope. Gavin Kelly behind Rich Meesters. P13 for the moment. In front of him, car 64 in P12. Yeah, but see how much time Charles Vasquez lost due to that spin. 2:14.7. Not the race he wanted to have after pole position and then having to start from the pits. Awful. Awful for him. Slutz still behind Carl Hudson. And Kelly and Meesters going at it. Down to turn 7. And Kelly gets through and is now in P12. And now he has a bit of free air. 8 seconds to the next car, which is Charles Vasquez after his spin. Yeah, Carl Hudson is defending better against Team Slutz than maybe some expected. Maybe not. But so far he is doing a good job in keeping P15. So Timon has to find a way through. Philip Fox! P20. I want to say this is a bit too far for my liking. And then we saw the wall. The tire barrier, and we knew, that ain't looking good. And in fact, it didn't look good. So Philip Fox now in the pits, and Chris White in the wall. After turn 5, too soon on the throttle, too much bad combination. And he as well is now in the pits. Yeah, a lot is happening. A lot is happening at the moment. The leaders are getting closer together. Thank you, camera. Half a second again between them after we have reached the 25-minute mark of this 1 hour long race. Sipula almost won last week, or last time, depending on when the LOA team decides to release the races. So I say last time because maybe last week is wrong by definition of when you're able to see this. So another P2. Definitely is on the table, but another win as well. Don't get me wrong. Especially since the top 3 have driven quite a bit away. Now Timon Slutz is through Carl Hudson, and Clément Godet wants to get through as well sooner rather than later. Remember, Sleuths and Godet were already in the pits. Sipula is close to Mollerin. Really, really close. But not this lap. We have a few more cars in the pits. Hansel and Martinez. So curious to see where they will be after their pit stop. Godet is chasing Hudson. It will be interesting to see if Timon Slutz is able to drive away now that he got past Hudson. We will see it in the lap times over the following next minutes. Let's see, Hansel out of the pits. P13, he is pretty lonely at the moment on track. Not the worst thing in the world. Sipula, P2, still behind Mollerin. Hogevain in P3. Now it's a bit further behind, little mistake there. But still, if something happens between these two, he could capitalize. Still lots of time left on the clock. We are at the end of lap 14. Let's see, Sunrise. And look how bumpy this is. If you have never seen this track or never driven there, it is a treat. But sure keeps you on the edge every single lap you drive through that corner. Alex Murphy in the pits. So more and more cars heading to the pits. But the top three do not. Then Luke Slutz driving on his own. Danny Chan also somewhat alone after all those pit stops. Peter McIntyre, ooh, not looking good, and ouch! Another visit to the barrier. Godet still behind Carl Hudson. But look at the lap times. Timon Slutz not really getting away from them. In fact, even a tiny bit slower than the cars behind on the last lap. But of course, we have two somewhat long straights, which means slipstream makes it a bit easier to stay with the car in front of you. Also here, this from turn 5 to turn 7. Good for slipstreaming. Clement Godet stays behind. We are now in the second half of the lap. Of the race, excuse me. So plenty of racing still left for us to see. We have 19 cars remaining. And Peter McIntyre, he makes it super easy. He makes it super easy for the top three. You love to see it. Because let's face it, Peter knows he is in P19. He had not a good race. He is on his own. Why should I interfere into the battle for the lead? Why should I? So he does the only logical thing, lets them through, have your fight, and go for it. Yeah, Slutz is not getting away. Even trying to break the toe there a little bit before they head to Sunrise. Let's see how they take it. Hudson a bit more wide on entry. Ansel, fastest lap of the race still for him. Now against Alex Murphy. For the moment it is P12, but quite a few drivers were not in the pits. Looking at this Aston Martin block in front of them, most of them were not yet in the pits. Peppa, Meesters, Kelly, Weisbecker and Boivy. So they are fighting once again for a top position. Meanwhile, the leaders still close. Oh, Hansel goes for the move. Into turn 10, executes it. Alex Murphy plays along. And Hansel is through. And now in P12, he has one more car pretty close to him, which is Steve Peppa, and then there is much more room after that. As you can see on the track map, but look, Alex Murphy, he tries it. Thought that position was safe? Nope. He tried it. Good attempt. Weisbecker heading to the pits. So another one, Gavin Kelly, so they gain 2 positions in a few moments. And how about P10 for Matthew Hansel now? And more to come, because there are still people that need to pit. Carl Hudson now. I just want to say there's still close, different choice of lines. It's so interesting to see each and every lap when you have a group of 3 like that. One lap that car is faster than suddenly the other car, but overall over the course of multiple laps they have the same pace. And now Clement tries it into turn 7. Is next to him. Yeah, so far so good. Still there. Stays behind though. But good attempt. Good attempt. But not now. Mollerin, Cipolla, Hogewain, the top 3. Then 7 seconds to Luke Slutz, and then big gap to P5 in the form of Danny Chan. Patience. You need patience in a race like this. Because time is your ally. It's different to a, like I said, for example, 15-minute race where you need to get things done quickly. You have an hour to do so, and if you're like Lucas Cipolla and you take a look at the gaps, you see 1, 2, 3. So there's a big gap to 4 and the rest. And that helps in decision making, making you a bit more patient. Clement Godet, P15, still behind Carl Hudson after his overtake attempt. Murphy wants to get into the top 10 again after his pit stop. For that he needs to pass Steve Pepper. Better exit out of the corner. Let's see if the Acura has it what it takes to beat the Aston Martin down to turn 10. goes to the outside. Not yet, but it is probably only a matter of time. Sipula and Mullerin! In Sunrise we get an overtake for the lead. And oh no, Carl Hudson spins away. This is one way to get past the driver if he spins away. Clement got in now in P14 as a result. Mullerin now back in the lead. Would love to see the leaders. But we focus on Alex Murphy and Steve Pepper. But Sipula was there for a moment. He got him, but just for a moment. Maybe next time. Alex Murphy to the inside of Steve Pepper through Sunrise. Takes it with confidence and is back in the top 10. 22 minutes and 37 seconds remaining. Hogevein still in the I am looking role. Steve Pepper in the pits, so one more. And we talked about it. We talked about it last time in Indianapolis. The timing of your pit stop. It can decide a lot, especially when it is this close. And we will see, first of all, what strategy are they on in terms of when will they go to the pits, who executes it the best, and who has the best luck in terms of traffic. Remember the traffic. Hogevein. Sipula was slow through Sunrise, now 2.2 seconds behind. The gap increased. And of course the tires. Who watched the best after his tires at the end of the stint? Who feels that the tires are already gone and who doesn't? So many things you have to keep in mind here on lap 20. But of course for Mullerin, this is now maybe the chance to get away. Maybe. Meanwhile, Marion Hogevein now the one that tries to put on some pressure on Sipula. Oh, 0.3 seconds, he gets closer and closer, but not for turn 15. No. 20 minutes remaining. We are in the final third of the race. The final race of the season. Remember that. And Hogevein is close. Look at this. Lifts off the gas a bit sooner than Sipula. And stays behind. 1, 2, 3, Mullerin, Sipula, Hogevein. 9 seconds to Luke Slutz, who, as I mentioned several times, is driving a race on his own. Not the worst thing in the world. Definitely not. And Sebastian Boivin now in the pits. Another one. Clement chasing Timon. Slutz now that Carl Hudson was out of the picture after his mistake. a few minutes ago. Also Rich Meester, so more and more drivers heading and doing their pit stops. Which means Timon Sleuths will be in the top 10 in a few moments. Clement will have to wait a bit longer for that, as he is now in P. I know Sebastian stays in front of them. Or does he? I think so. Yeah, there he is. But cold tires. Remember that. Sebastian has colder tires. Theirs are up to temperature. So maybe Sebastian is not able to defend that P10 position for the moment. Ooh, blinks a little bit there. Gavin Kelly, we have not seen him in a while, and this is not good. Ah! Another victim of turn 5. And he stands. What is he doing? Let's see if that point is moving on the map or not. He's now in P17. Yes, he's moving again. Muller and Hogevain to the pits. So 1 and 3 in the pits. Does this give Lucas Sipula the opportunity now with free air to get away? Vasquez, fastest lap, 2:00.773. Now in P4. Sleuths to the inside for P10. Should get the job done. But Boivy tries it. Joshua Martinez. Ooh, touches the wall there, I believe. Hope the car is alright. I think he touched the wall there. And also Godet got past Boivy as it seems. So Sleuths, Godet and Boivy now 10, 11 and 12. Still 19 cars racing. So we stabilized a bit. A good bit, in fact. We've been at 19 cars remaining for quite a while now. And Vasquez is chasing time and P3. I'm curious to see Sipula's lap time if he stays out. Sleuth's defense against Clement Godet. Stays in front, but no, Sipula heads to the pits as well. Now will be the interesting factor. Also Luke Sleuths to the pits. Mollerin in P5 for the moment. That is the point we have to watch and look. Charles Vasquez and Danny Chan. Vasquez now leading. Mollerin. The 3 is moving. That is Sipula. Maybe he can get it done. Maybe not. No, he is behind Mollerin. Can he stay in front of Marion Hogevain though? At least for the time being, but maybe Hogevain can use his heated up tires to maybe overtake. Clement Godet still fighting against Timon Sleuths. He is super far to the outside. Now to the inside. Maybe this gives him an opportunity. Still fighting. Sleuths and Godet for P10, that is. Godet is not making it easy for Sleuths. That is clear. He is not making it easy. Goes to the outside once again. Shifts down into first gear. Super close to the rear bumper. But not for now. Two Aston Martins fight for the final position in the top 10. So far, Timon Slutz is doing a good job in defending. 13 more minutes. Charles Vasquez now in the pits. So Danny Chan is leading the race, but he has to pit as well. So keep that in mind. The true race leader is car number 24, Ture Mollerin. Then Lucas Cipolla and Marian Hogevein. Curious where Vasquez will end up after his pit stop. The number 7 is moving. He should get P8. We can see his car leaving the pits there. So P8 for Vasquez. The pole sitter who started the race from the pits. And Clément Godet and Timon Slutz still fighting. Clément still not finding a way past his fellow Aston Martin driver. It feels as if he could go faster, but overtaking so far not successful. And now he has a bit of a gap to Timon. I mean, not much of course, but he's not in direct attacking for the time being. Maybe things will change over the next few corners. Danny Chan now in the pits, so the leader is back to normal, so to speak, as Ture Mollerin will get past him in a few seconds. Then Lucas Cipolla and then Marian Hogevein. Now the question is, where will Danny Chan will come out? He's now in P6. His point is moving on the minimap, so maybe Alex Murphy gets past him. Should get an yes, Murphy, but P7 it is for Danny Chan, the leading silver driver. Where are the other silver drivers? Timon Slutz in P10. Gavin Kelly in 16, Carl Hudson in 17 of the remaining cars that are racing here at Sebring in the final 10 minutes of our final race of the season. Where are our bronze drivers? Rich Meesters in 14, Steve Pepper in 15, Chris Forrester in 18 and Peter McIntyre in 19. Out of the remaining bronze drivers that are racing due to the retirement of Chris White and James Pepper. Now the gap between Godet and Slutz now pretty big, 3.3 seconds. That has grown. But still, so easy to make a mistake. Ture Mollerin gets past Peter McIntyre. He does the same thing he did earlier in the race. Go by. I don't interfere in your fight. Just go by. Have it your way. Which is the right thing to do. As simple as that. Clement. I mean, also Sebastian Boivy has dropped off a bit from that trio here. You can see him in the back, falling down a bit. Sipula, 1.6 seconds, 2/10 faster last lap. 2/10, not enough. He needs to be faster by more than that, as we are on lap 26 out of 30 expected. But maybe something's happened. Or something is going to happen, I should rather say. Maybe an opportunity opens up here in the final 8 minutes of the season to get the final race victory. Mallorin, Sipula, Hogewain on their own. 18 seconds to P4. Which is quite a lot. Or maybe Ture Mallorin is now in a position where he can finish it all, increase the gap, and ride home to the victory. In a few minutes we will know the answer. If we take a look, where else do we have potential battles? 4 and 5? Time is running out for Matthew Hansel to get closer to P4. Then 6, 7, 8, 9... Nah. No, not really. 10, 11. Probably among the closest. Slutz and Godet. But Slutz seems to be a bit faster in this stage of the race, so maybe the positions have set. Or maybe we are in for one drama-riddled final here. Which one is the more interesting outcome? You decide. 6 minutes on the clock. 3 seconds between... I mean, look, the last lap he was 7/10 faster than Sipula. Ture Mallorin wants to make it clear this is my victory here. Nobody's gonna take it from me. I want to win the final race of the endurance season. Here for the Limit of Adhesion Racing League. But maybe Marion Hogewain in the running for P2. He is close. Last lap he was a good bit faster. So maybe we can get something here for the second position spot. Make it a fourth 1-2. Or can the Aston Martin stay in P2? Once again, sunrise. Lap 27. Three more laps for those. And Mallorin, fastest lap of the race. Do I need to say more? A full second faster than Sipula was on. Oh, Hogewain goes super wide. Scratch that about P2 potentially. This ain't helping. That could have been the decision for Lucas Sipula that he will finish the race in P2. That mistake. I mean, I noticed that Hogewain was getting wider and wider in that corner, it seemed to me. But that was too wide. Way too wide. Vasquez chases Danny Chan. Wants to get P7. After starting from the pits, would be a decent, very good result in fact. Of course, after qualifying in pole, you want more, but when you have the reality that you have to start from the pits, you know, you have to take what you can get. So P7 on the table, but time is running out. Time definitely is running out here at Sebring. Last lap he was 7/10 faster. He's 7/10 behind. So there is a chance. There is a chance. But now he has to focus. Both of them have to focus, definitely. Danny Chan defending P7 would be big. And Vasquez from the pit start to P7 would also be big. In a few moments, they only have 12 kilometers left. 12 kilometers that will decide between P7 and P8 between those two. Yeah, Hogewein lost 1.5 seconds, mainly due to the mistake. Oh, Martinez maybe was a slowdown in place. Was there a slowdown in place? Because that looked very, very easy for Charles Vasquez for Danny Chan. Huh. Either way, but I think there was a slowdown in place because Danny Chan is now trying again. Yeah, that must have been a slowdown somewhere involved because this is the only explanation I can give. Either way, Vasquez in P7. But this is end of the road under normal circumstances. Because the next car is over 6 seconds away. Oh, 3.5, it just updated. I noticed that the gaps are a bit wonky here in Sebring. But doesn't matter, time is running out. We are in the final minute. Where are our leading drivers? About to reach sunrise, so yes, it will be a 30 lap race. They are start the final lap right about now. 6 more kilometers and Ture Mollerin wins the final race of the season. Here at Sebring. Danny Chan, he tried to regain his position, but looks difficult now. Final lap for them as well. The positions look pretty settled across the board. If we take a look at the minimap, yeah, 7 and 8 is the closest. And even that is unrealistic under normal circumstances. But still, Danny Chan will be the silver division winner. Timon Slutz in P10 is number 2. And our bronze winner will be Rich Meesters in P14. That is super safe. Almost 30 seconds between him and Steve Pepper. Matthew Hansel, he is chasing Luke Slutz, so maybe out of nowhere a last lap heroic there for P4. He's far away, but you never know. Sunrise has taken many drivers even on the final lap of a race over its history. Here are the top 3 and it is getting close again. Was there also a slowdown in place? What is happening here? Sepula! Or are they staging a photo finish? Are you staging or not? I don't know. If so, looked good. And Luke Slutz and Matthew Hansen also really close. I tell you, they staged that. 206 Toth, they staged that. Oh, you stagers. Either way, Turin Mullerin wins the race. Sepula P2 and Marion Hogewain in P3. Luke Slutz and Matthew Hansel round up the top 5. And now we wait for the cars to finish. 13 have finished the race, P19 as well, so we wait for 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. The next car over the finish line will be Rich Meesters, but you stagers! Ay. Doesn't matter. 15, 16, pretty close together as well. Pepper and Kelly, they are about to finish right now. So only 2 more cars that need to cross the finish line for this season to be over. Carl Hudson, P17, here he is. That car has seen things. And the final car of the season that will cross the finish line is Chris Forrester. Here we have him. And with that, Sebring is done. Ladies and gentlemen, we have done it. Mullerin, Sepula and Hogewain, the top 3. Congratulations to everyone that survived that difficult racetrack. And with that, we are done with the season. Thank you for the opportunity to broadcast these final 3 races for the Limit of Adhesion. I hope you enjoyed my work. I hope you enjoyed the racecraft of every driver we have seen across the entire season, not just the races I was allowed to commentate for you. I enjoyed it. I hope you stick around with the Limit of Adhesion Racing League. New seasons are upon us. My name is Patrick. I wish you a good day. Take care and see you next season. Goodbye.